Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement with Robbie and Clem. We are here for the final Stranger Things recap, little Stranger Things quick hitter of the season. Stranger Things 4. We went into this season, Clem, being like, are we going to recap it? Are we not going to recap it? The episodes are crazy long. The finale's 2.5 hours long. Who has the time for all this? Turns out we had the time for all of this the second we realized the quality of this season. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. Stranger Things 4 is my favorite season of the entire show.
Wow. I have to go back and actually recap all the seasons and like remember what happened where. But it's kind of like when Eddie during our draft, he's like, is it the best Netflix show of all time? Like, I've never thought of that before. And I've never even thought of like which of the seasons because they are so different and unique. But I mean, I think the kind of the high points we had in this season match any of the high points of the previous seasons. And this one does a lot in tying stuff together. And whether or not the Duffer Brothers had this all in their crazy, whacked out minds or not, I'm not sure. But business has picked up, in the words of the immortal Jim Ross. Right?
I thought about that 100 times watching this episode. Like, when did the Duffer Brothers think of all this? At what point in the creation of the show? Was it right before season 4? Was it in the middle of season 3? They put a little clock in there because, we've heard left and right on TikTok now that there's little clock chimes in the show throughout it or whatever. Let's get right into it. Spoilers on this episode, obviously. We'll do a little quick hitter, and then we're going to do a podcast with Kevin, possibly some more guests in person in the office this week, really recapping the full thing in detail, getting the full thoughts on the season. The opening scene to this episode I thought was so funny with the helicopter, them not getting the helicopter to work, and then him being like, well, you ever touch a woman? You got to make her talk, you got to make her scream. Why make the helicopter scream? Thought that was so funny. And Joyce the whole time is wearing a Hulk Hogan shirt. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I saw that in the previews when Hopper's wearing Hulk Hogan. So then the Hulk Hogan shirt, and I was like, oh my god! Again, grew up Hulkamaniac. Eat, pray, say your eat, pray, take your vitamins, all that kind of stuff. Hopper talking about helicopters and the woman and stuff like that. This chick just went to the Soviet Union, not Russia, the Soviet Union during the Cold War. She's looking to bang, all right? She was looking to bang before she did that. She sure shit was looking to do that after you sacrifice yourself for her family, her entire town. Joyce is looking to bang. Why not? Like, get it going, Hopper. What do you? And you've been in a
Isn't that an answer to the internet question? What's the furthest you've driven to get laid? Joyce wins.
She didn't even she took fucking she got smuggled into the USSR. She didn't even have to drive, even more so. So Hopper, what are you doing, dude? You've been in a Russian prison. You're ready to pop, dude.
Yeah. And everyone gets a monologue in this episode. That was one of the first major notes that I made. It seemed like every single character got like a full 5 to 10 minutes that we could spend with him in this episode, which for some characters was kind of needed. Like characters like Jonathan, Will got some stuff in this episode. Like the characters that we didn't see as much from in this season, I thought they did a good job of in the final episode. And in general, I thought this final episode did a good job of tying everything up, but still teasing for season 5. And that was another thing we talked about. Like, I can't believe this isn't the last season with the run times and whatnot. But by the end of this episode, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm ready for Stranger Things 5. They better just make it quick before the kids are like 26 in season 5.
Yeah, they got to get this thing pumped out quick. And future Clem and Robbie, we're telling you right now, this is a message to you. Do the reviews from day one. Preview the fucking season up for like 10 episodes. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be a huge event. It's like the memes have taken over the internet. You have sports teams are tweeting out Stranger Things stuff.
Vecna memes are everywhere right now.
Everywhere.
Like the pictures of the behind the scenes Vecna, like on his phone, holding the Starbucks, backstage, like all of that. I can't escape it on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Vecna's everywhere.
It's like real life versus Instagram, and it's a picture of like crazy Vecna and then like the actor that plays Vecna looking nice. And Max, I've seen a lot of Max memes where there's running and stuff involved. So our girl Kate Bush. I will say, I feel like that those monologues, they were kind of like, we have to wrap some stuff out. These guys really had a really weird arc throughout the season, and we didn't get to, I don't know if they just realized that they didn't really get to recap or have those characters flesh out as much during the season. So I feel like that did play a part of it. There was only one little monologue, one little quote that I did not like the minute it was said. And it was, "We are not heroes." As soon as Eddie said that, I wrote, shit, that's not good. And
that
here we
bad,
fucking are. Bad.
You knew that was going to tie up into his ending where it's like, oh, well, he's going to go be the hero. We did get Eddie's master of puppets scene, as we teased. We were like, people have dissected the little finger positionings on the fretboard, and they think he's playing master of puppets. He was, in fact, playing master of puppets. Pretty fucking badass, Clem.
The internet always wins. I can't believe people fucking got their internet sleuthing on, put on their Sherlock Holmes magnifying glasses, and figured that out. That was incredible. And that's another one. It was like #1 on the charts or something like that, based on Stranger Things. Stranger Things. We got to get a punk song in the season 5, and then you guys can eat off that the rest of your lives, right?
You know, I was thinking we will put up the Thor recap later today, so everyone could look out for that on our YouTube channel if it's not out already while you're watching this. I was wondering if Thor was going to make kids into Guns N' Roses, like get kids into Guns N' Roses.
I was Stranger Things has like infested my brain like that, where I was then thinking how this is all going to tie together. So I'm with you on that, Robbie. You also said the monologue thing. Jonathan's monologue should have been, I was almost a main character in one of the biggest shows on the planet, and now I'm making a salt bath for a kid. It's the weirdest drop off I've ever seen a character go through.
Also wanted to mention, this isn't necessarily finale related, but it's something that we discovered between the last episode and this one. Argyle is a rapper in real life. What's his rap name? It's like bitches, something bitches.
Bitches and man, this is gonna drive me nuts.
Everyone look this up on Spotify after we find the actual name, because I listened to a couple of his songs and they are completely and utterly ridiculous, making me think that Argyle is the real Argyle in real life. He looks the same. Like, I thought he was wearing a wig or extensions or something. Nope, that's his real hair in real life, and he just seems like he's himself. I love him. I want to go on tour with him and Pup Punk, because that's the kind of music he makes.
Exactly. Yeah, he's fun as shit. Dumb bitches with internet. I mean,
dumb bitches there, with internet.
If the name speaks 1,000 words right there of what you're gonna get. And the first song you told me about was Porn Song, which is absolutely hilarious. He's talking incognito mode. It's very barstooling.
Miss my dick.
Blog it. Yeah,
parentheses acoustic.
Put this guy in a room with Caleb Presley for an hour, and magic is going to come out of that room.
Funny shit. I'm telling you. Everyone check out Dumb Bitches with Internet. I'm sure some listeners are like, I'm watching it right now. What are you talking about? Another note I made, I forgot how long Max has been around. When they show some of the flashback stuff to Max, like with the kids early on when they were all like literally little, crazy to think how long that character's been around in the show. And then the big dialogue from Stephen Shea that kind of mixed up Twitter this week was that he was pissed that he felt the finale ripped off The Matrix with their concept of, hey, we'll put 11 in the salt bath. We'll do the whole get inside the dream kind of Inception type deal. It is a bit Matrix-esque. I didn't watch the show with the same thought that Stephen Shea did, though, where it seemed like Shea was pissed about it. He said, I can't believe I just watched 13 hours of this show for them to blatantly rip off The Matrix. It felt in tune with everything the show's done in the past with the salt baths.
Yeah, I The Matrix didn't enter my mind once. I have watched probably the first Matrix I watched a bunch of, like, probably 5-6 times. I watched the second one twice. I watched the third one once and tried to forget it.
Yeah.
And I turned off the last one about 30 minutes in, and that was in a time where there was like no other content to do. You were locked in your house, I think, still at that point. I
love The Matrix. Still haven't watched the last one because I'm nervous.
It was it was not Stranger Things Volume 4 or Stranger Things 4. I will say that. So yeah, Steve, that was a Stephen Shea take, not co-signed by the Basement Boys.
No, I can't co-sign that one. The Tentacle House, the Vecna House in the Upside Down with all the tentacles in it. We saw in this episode they had to like communicate through light, go through different all right, one team in the Upside Down, one team in regular Hawkins. We're going to do it like this. I loved the way they did that. Like the whole getting the plan together, I thought really worked well. Tentacle House just scared the shit out of me. That was terrifying. You can't step on one of them. It's all connected.
Poor Robin. I know everyone was just really like, Robin, you're gonna fuck this up. Everyone, they had you thinking it was. And shout out Robin. She like got her nerves and her clumsiness under control. She kept her fucking head on straight. But the tentacles, it is something about that with the hive mind. You've heard the hive mind 1,000 times in that show. I also feel like tentacles, it has like an octopus vibe to it, but maybe even a little spider vibe. And I know our guy Bob does not like spiders, which I think there's going to be some more spiders in season 5 coming up.
Oh my God, there definitely is going to, probably in every episode like this one too, which is every episode I got to be like, come on, guys. When 11 and Vecna meet in the Upside Down and he goes, you, and she goes, hi. I laughed at that so hard. I thought that was so funny, so 11, so like she doesn't fully understand how to do social cues yet. And she did that a couple times this episode, I feel like, where she was just like, hi.
One of the things I did forget about in the time between Stranger Things seasons is that 11 still does have like that social awkwardness from not having a
Yeah.
childhood, basically being some weirdo fucking experiment in a lab. And there were a few times when, oh yeah, that's right. So that kind of played into it, but it's kind of nice to have her on our side. And I said, it's like rooting for a good Vader. It's like whenever we see a Darth Vader appear on the screen in Star Wars, he's always the bad guy. We have someone who could fuck shit up and do it with powers we couldn't even fathom. And I feel like she's going to keep, I'm hoping in the next few, whatever the next season, that she's just going to keep leveling up and her powers are going to keep going through the roof. But her and Vecna going back and forth. And I'm still not sure. Like, Vecna seems like he's awesome and like an absolute monster. And then I feel like 11 just washes him. It's the weirdest thing.
Every now and then, once she gets the love from Mike, right? That's like when she powers up or whatever. And that was also a bit of a weird monologue from Will, like when he's screaming at Mike, like, don't give up. You're the heart, Mike. Never forget. You're the heart. That was the one monologue for me where I was like, ugh.
Yeah. And there's other ways to be the heart. Maybe like start, maybe
it's just corny to me. That one monologue.
They should have Deion Sanders in there to like give him a heart monologue. Or like he should have been
Biz,
Michael's
when
monologue
he hyped
coach.
up the team. Remember that video of Biz being like, playing center tonight on left wing, Mike Wheeler.
This. I didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't see this coming, but that's why you guys come into the basement.
Yeah.
We are now going to campaign to have Biz in Stranger
he would be
Things
awesome.
5.
Imagine Biz if he shaved his head like that again. He could be like a teacher at Hawkins for sure. Shave his head, get the mustache. I could see Biz in that role.
The history.
He would probably be a good actor. I bet Biz would be like a good comedic actor if he put his mind to it.
I mean, we've all seen the reaction gif, right? Which don't make that reaction gif from me. I don't even know. I don't want to know what it looks like.
Over in Russia, Murray got a big moment in this episode. Murray kind of saves the fucking day here. Like without Murray, I don't know if this whole plan goes the way it goes. So I just wrote shout out to Murray. Hopper also holds a sword like people hold a lightsaber. It made me want to see Hopper as like a Jedi master in some kind of new Star Wars story.
Maybe Hopper saw, was hearing about the Millie Bobby Brown negotiations that were going on for the Star Wars movies. Like 18 million. He's like, if you guys could just write in a couple of Star Warsy things for me to do, and
like, let me hold the sword. And they're like, why are you making noise during the scene? He's like holding it like, they're like, no, what are you doing? No, it's just a sword.
Wong, wong. I mean, we've all been there before. If you're in the basement, you fake swung a lightsaber for sure. The way they put all those, by the way, I have no idea where that sword came from. It must have just I must have missed where I just at one point saw a sword on the ground.
Agreed.
Oh shit, there's a sword. And I'm sure it happened at one point when they were, just throwing people to waste to the Demogorgons. Had no idea where it came from. And I was like, all right, cool. We're just going to have a sword scene. I'll always fuck with sword scenes. I'm a sword guy. Remember, shout out Sam Lauderdale. I am a sword guy. So I have to represent for my fellow sword guys out there, whether I want to or not. I did like the way that all the plans were drawn up and it was easy to follow. Sometimes it gets a little innocuous. You kind of get lost in the sauce. Both of them, I was like, all right, this is what we're doing. These are the plans, and everything kind of like made sense. And it didn't seem out of the ordinary, or too like crazy to do. And you knew that for the kids, something was going to go awry in the middle of this plan. And it
the
was
bullies,
motherfucker Jason and his pal. I don't even know the pal's name, henchman, whatever you want to call them. Those fucking goddamn. They're honkies. All right, I'm calling them honkies. They're in Indiana. They were calling us. It was like they were calling us, New York City slickers back in the day. I have like a rivalry with goddamn Indiana people dating back to Reggie Miller. So those goddamn honkies who were fucking the entire plan. Yeah, you hear that?
Clem hates you.
King honky over there.
And then the whole final confrontation between I almost said between 11 and 1 takes balls to put Vecna behind everything, I think, from the Duffer Brothers perspective, because they didn't know how hard 11 was going to hit for people, for the audience or whatever. So to be like, hey, this is the character responsible for our entire show, I was like, man, nailing that is so important, and they really did it here. And then you see Vecna getting to Max. She starts breaking bones. Oh. Her ankles break, her arms break, her eyes kind of like start bleeding, and then 11 is finally able to, like we said last week, send Vecna off like Darth Vader in A New Hope. Send him off spinning. He'll be back. We'll see him next season. but she sends him off for this one. Max dies in Lucas's arms, and then like 2 days later, flashes forward a little bit, or 2 weeks later, something flashes forward, and Max is in the hospital. She's okay. She's fucked up still, but she's not dead. So that was interesting. Did they explain how that happened? Did I miss that? Did 11 do something? Seemed like 11 did something.
Yeah, she went in the brain and kind of like just got her out of there. And then there was something where it's like she has the memories, but then it becomes all dark. And it's like, is she brain dead during that, or is that just like in a comatose state? So I'm not really sure how
I'm
that.
glad they didn't kill her. I bit it hook, line, and sinker when they did. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they killed Max.
When
like
I saw when I saw the bones crunching, I was like, no fucking way. And then the eyes too, and it's like. I didn't even think that, there was a chance that they would save her after those two things had done. I thought it was just curtains, but I guess that was their way of killing Max, opening the gate with the fourth death, but not having to just be like, all right, now Max is dead. If Max isn't, I can't imagine they're going to just like kill her now. That would just be so fucking cruel. Be like episode 1. By the way, she's dead. That would be actually kind of funny in a very sick, twisted way. Funny nonetheless that the Duffer Brothers would just do it to us. But I either think she'll come back and she'll be alive, albeit fucked up probably, or she could then become, listen to this theory, this is the first theory of season 5 you're going to hear in the basement. She could become like a vessel for Vecna because she is like kind of brain dead, and maybe even though he's already like in the upside down, she could then be another like soldier for him that is kind of a Trojan horse because she's obviously friends with 11, who he's going after, and then everyone else. By the way, Lucas, that motherfucker was leaking tears. It was the no Sean Marino gif on like 1,000 trillion. I've never seen a man be able to get that much water out of his eyes. It was unbelievable.
Impressive. And the explosion happens in Hawkins too. That's kind of how the whole season ends up. Not really an explosion. It's just kind of the portals open. They all connect. They call it an earthquake, which I was like, earthquake? What the fuck? Like, you've seen earthquakes before. They don't glow orange, and you've also dealt with upside down shit. So why don't we just call a spade here? Your town's haunted.
This town that has had a million different like spooky things over the year, just happened to have a crazy earthquake. It's just Mother Nature acting up. It has nothing to do with all the other supernatural shit that's gone on here. It's like, what are we doing, people?
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, like, okay, gif. Okay.
Yeah. the 2 days later gave me a little 5 years later Endgame vibes. Yeah. I don't know if you had the same.
Like, what? We're in the middle of it right now.
We're going through it. The best part of the earthquake was when Honky Jason got ripped in half. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
So cash in. By the way, the death pool results, by my count, it was 1-1-1.
1-1-1. Papa, Eddie, Jason.
Yep. Papa,
all
Eddie,
first round picks.
Were
they all first round picks, or did I not go first round with mine?
I don't know if he went first round with Eddie, but he was very close. And we have to say it, man. It was absolute bullshit. I don't. The only reason why I understand it is we've been introduced to characters we like who have died in one season. It happened with our guy Bob. It happened with Eddie. Bob and Eddie, again, two guys I love. Maybe I'm the slurpy drinking Russian that was just, kind of everyone started to like by the end of it. But it's like these three dudes, man. It's like we just didn't have to fucking kill these guys. Stop getting us like attached to these motherfuckers and then ripping them from us, Duffer Brothers. So I did not like Eddie dying, but I mean, I guess what it is. I'm not gonna.
And you get one death, right? I saw people complaining, "Oh, Stranger Things didn't kill Hopper; they're afraid to kill people." You could say that about Max, I guess. You could say that about the main cast, but they did kill a beloved character this season in Eddie. Rest in peace to Eddie.
I would say I liked Eddie. He was probably tier 1 in my tier 1 of characters because that guy was just. But you don't get people like that in real life in like high school and shit like that. He almost seemed too good to be true. I think we kind of said that in like episode 1 or 2 with him. So and just the whole thing with Dustin where he's like, you got to watch after them, man. It got fucking emotional.
Did you see the Doja Cat shit, by the way?
No,
you didn't see this.
I saw someone tweet about it, but I had no reference of what it was about. It said this Doja Cat shit, and she has a crush on someone. That's all I know.
So Doja Cat has a crush on the actor that plays Eddie. And she has publicly tweeted this before, so I don't know why she's so mad about this, but she's publicly tweeted like this guy, I forget what his real name is so hot, whatever, blah, 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 so fine. She DMs Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, 17-year-old kid, and says, hey, can you like give me his number or his Instagram? I want to slide in his DMs. He's so hot or something. Noah is allegedly, I don't know anything about this kid. People say he's like a shit poster. Like he loves being online, just posting random shit, whatever. And he posted that as like a TikTok. Like, how funny is this? Doja Cat sliding into my DMs to get Eddie's number. And then Doja Cat went off on him. Like, that's some snake shit. That's bullshit. That's borderline like invasive. Is that a power play by you? And then the words "he's 17" trended worldwide because the entire world turned to Doja Cat and said, "Why are you yelling at this kid? He's 17."
That's on you, Doja Cat. Now, how old's Doja
Yeah,
Cat? That's my
I
question.
think Doja Cat's like almost 30.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize that. Yeah, 26.
There you
26.
go.
Yeah,
So, like, what do you expect?
leaking DMs. We have a leaking DMs controversy. If that's not a Stranger Things fucking.
If Vecna doesn't get Will, Doja will.
I don't mess with Doja Cat though. I don't.
I actually do like her. She was in an episode of Dave, the Little Dicky show, and she was actually really good in it. So it makes me want to like be on her side, but I can't on this one.
There was one time a video, I blogged some video about a cow. I forgot what it was about. And then I put in a GIF for milk, and it was Doja Cat, who I didn't know who Doja Cat was at the time. She had udders and she was squirting milk everywhere. And I was like, oh, by the way, I just looked this up. This is Doja Cat. And I gave a whole explanation of Doja Cat. I just know, like rappers and stuff like that, they have like their like the beehives. There's probably like a Doja Kitty clan or something like that. I'm not fucking with them. I have nothing. I'm not fucking with the Doja Cat clan. So you guys, I'm not fucking with the 17-year-old either. Let that just be a controversy. My old ass keeps his ass out.
All right, if you want a real in-depth look at this whole season, this whole finale, I would tune into our episode with Kevin Clancy. Maybe some other guests, maybe some surprise guests will pop in during that one. Later this week, we're going to record it on Tuesday. We're looking to record it on Tuesday. But for the quick hitters, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everyone for tuning in throughout this season. It's been a great season, and we will see you in the Upside Down.